Good evening, folks. Welcome back to our Vampire the Masquerade game of Savannah by Night here on Knights of Silvermoon. It is, of course, not the only game we play here. Tomorrow night, tune in for our Age of Innovation game that has a very different relationship with vampires that is an interesting dichotomy on the channel. Martel, is Friday this, is it the Star Wars Tales of the Hidden Path this weekend, or is that next
Why,
weekend?
yes, it is, Graham. It is this week. We are very excited, and we don't know what we're going to do. We had a safe house, and we decided that
It's
we
no
didn't
longer
like the other
safe.
people in the safe house, so we broke up with them, and unfortunately, they got to keep the place. So we are now out on the street.
Divorce in Star Wars is very strange.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it
Should have
is.
gotten a prenup.
It's a no-fault galaxy in a long, long time ago. And then Tuesday, where are you, Dreamy?
You can find me over at Top Down Tabletop at 7:30 Central. Last night we had tarot readings. The will they won't they finally hooked up. But does this mean that they'll stop hurting their own feelings? Absolutely not. Come discover what else how much more pain we can fit in. It's probably a lot.
Slab's roof of card. This bad boy can fit so much emotional trauma in it.
Oh, you have no idea.
Well, before we get into tonight's trauma, let's tell a fucking vampire story. Last time, on Savannah by Night. The New Bloods found themselves in a rare moment of collective solace for the first time since they had all arrived in Savannah. With both the permission and help of Keeper Atherton, Artem had gathered them all at Wormslow with the intent of a much-needed low-key event and hosted a movie night. While it had been made into a general open invitation, Artem was unprepared for the fact that others like Elli and Yvette would also be joining, though this was tempered by the inclusion of those like Harlan and Belle. Strangely, no immediate drama was yielded, and instead all involved appeared to enjoy themselves and even relax. Though it having taken place at Elysium made for a few opportunities to plan future problems. But before we get into that, it is a brand new night. So let's do a little bit of paperwork, shall we? Start with the nightly blood expenditure for just waking up. And if you plan to be around humans and you do not have the requisite merit, you may wish to spend that blood now. Everybody good there? Okay. Next would be willpower. You regain one automatically. However, if you are in deficit, I would like to hear your arguments to correct that now. Is there anyone that needs to fix that? Wow.
I just want to note this is the first night in a very long time where I think I have not used a willpower.
Let's fix that, shall we?
I would like to ask, what XP should we be at?
We'll have to look at that. I was about to say you get 2 more experience points.
Should be 24.
And that's assuming you haven't spent any.
This is your
Correct.
total that you have accrued over the course of the game.
Great.
It is recommended that you write down how much you've accrued and then write down the separate number for how much you're spending. That way it's easier to keep track.
I do a little slash.
Mm.
Like I'm shipping my spend numbers and my remaining numbers.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Now, of course, as always, I have several scenes planned out for each of you, but are there any immediate incidentals that you need to take care of? Something that's very small that we can get sorted now? Any little texts that you want to set up future conversations? Any calls? Any very quick feeding that you need to do?
I wouldn't mind doing some feeding.
Mhm.
I also have a gift for Alden.
Okay, we'll get to that when it's the scene. Is there anything else that's very minor?
I should probably do some feeding too.
Okay. Anyone else need to do any very quick feeding?
Cora doesn't currently have quick feeding down pat, so that
Mhm.
is not something that she will be doing. But I do need to text Nina or call her and apologize for not being able to meet up the night before. Hopefully she wasn't waiting around for me while I went to a movie night.
We'll get to that specifically. However, what she had said to you at the time was, wait there, I'll come get you if I'm free.
Perfect.
So that's okay. For Ellie, if you want to do the feeding, we're just going to do... Actually, how would you like to go about feeding?
I should probably do something more substantial. More substantial than rats, considering that I'm possibly going to be engaged in some more things. So it might
So
be
if that would be a little
something
more involved.
where- it's more that I would probably be doing a little more sneaking around above
Oh, I see.
ground, trying to get like a passerby in
Okay.
who like wanders too close to an alley.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm going to be wasting a lot of time chasing after rats if I'm.
So do you
trying
want to
get-
sneak up on someone is what we're going for?
Yeah, let's go for sneaking up.
Okay. So we're going to do Dex and Stealth, and we're going to do this at just a difficulty of 5.
Okay. Great. Okay.
And Artem, you were going to want to do a little bit of feeding as well, just to top up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how you were going to do that.
I think we're going to do a little gator hunt this time.
Gator hunt. Okay. Are you going for a swim, or how exactly are you trying to accomplish this?
Good question. I think typically what he's done is he's kind of stalked them on shore, looked for the the telltale sign of the quick time event from Red Dead 2, and then sort of thrown some blood out and drawn them in that way.
So he's going to spend blood to make blood.
Yes.
Okay.
It's how the rich get richer, folks.
You can put a few drops in the water. So let's go with... Make me an argument for what's your primary attribute that you want to roll for this. Because I would say manipulation off the top of my head. But Sam, did you already make your roll?
I did.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes. Well, then I'm going to pose this to you. Do you want to get 3 successes and leave someone rolled in an alleyway? Taking a nap? Or do you want to just take 2 and leave them just a little wobbly on the knees?
I think I might want to leave. I think I may need to leave someone. I have a deficit of 4 right now, so I
Okay.
may need to leave someone in an alley to get 3 back.
Okay. So the follow-up question I would have for you is, how close to a entrance to the Warrens do you leave this?
I would not say very close.
Okay. That's my only question, is just to see how discreet you are and how much blood you're taking.
Yeah.
Okay. So write that down for yourself. We're going to go back to Artem.
So generally when we do this, it's wits, but if you want to do manipulation, that would be okay. Maybe wits or manipulation and animal kin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with.
Okay. Sounds good. The
I
much
will...
smaller dice pool.
Do you have animalism, yes?
I do.
How many?
Just the one.
Just the one.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you bring it down to a 5 then.
Okay. That works for me. 1, 2. Damn. I rolled 2 5s. That's 4 successes.
Well, the beauty of just flicking a few drops, it doesn't cost you full points of blood, but you are getting that telltale snort from the water that's almost a snarl when it detects the drops. And then there's that sort of heavy sloshing sound of a large object moving through the marsh as it clambers onto shore, looking for the rest of it. See the nostrils flare. But given what you've rolled, it doesn't realize that it's prey in this situation. So same question for you is, how much do you take?
I'm okay leaving this thing sleeping on the shore.
Okay. I'll say, because gators can get to be quite big, that if you want, you can take 4
That sounds good to
without
me.
causing an issue.
We are looking real good.
Well,
And
as
not
we've
just 'cause of the
covered,
appearance.
and there we go. I was going to say, statistically, Artem is very pretty. Okay. Is there anyone else who needs to do a very quick feed situation? No? Okay. We'll move into our scenes proper. Kate, are you ready to go?
I can be.
Okay. You're waking up at home. Is there anything that you wish to accomplish immediately? You do have 2 texts waiting for you, but is there anything you want to accomplish first?
Not immediately.
Okay. You have one from Rook. It reads, "No exact time yet. We'll update when possible. Keep yourself available at the back half of the evening. Dress for rugged. You ready for the next?
Mhm.
From Keller. I had an interesting thought for tonight. Where would be convenient to pick you up?
St. John's Church.
Interesting. Okay.
Isn't that the one?
The
No.
big basilica?
Yes.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was making sure I had my random saints correct.
A few minutes goes by. Bold choice. Perhaps somewhere a bit more discreet.
Well, now it's going to take me a second to pull up Google Maps, Graham. I get a heads up for these things. I picked that because I remembered it was close to my house.
The little basement sandwich shop, Urban Deli, is near you.
Yeah.
The question is, do you want to give Keller a vicinity of where you call Haven? Or do you want to throw off the scent a little bit?
I don't want to have to move my car anywhere. I'm at the wrong part of Savannah. I have zoomed in too much on the map. What if I told him Pinky Masters?
Sure.
He could be my Uber.
I'm assuming you drop a pin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything you have to do before I pick you up?
I'm ready when you are. Graham, remind me how he said to dress. I have it in my notes somewhere.
He said wear boots.
Hmm.
Not unlike how Rook had suggested.
Perfect. I'll dress for Veritas then. In that kind of black jeans. Not so much buttoned up, but my brain is not functioning with full Kate fashion sense today. But the boots and probably a ponytail.
Mhm. Okay. Do you wait outside of the bar or do you go in and try and score a feed?
Did he give an estimate as to how long it would take?
20 to 30.
Yeah, I'll try to snag like a point of blood.
Okay. So how would you like to accomplish that?
Let me do a charisma expression. Feel free to change up the second one.
I think that can work.
We're looking at a 6.
I'll go with a 5.
Okay. That is 2 successes.
Okay. Easily accomplished. If you're just looking for the single point. And I'm assuming you want to be selective about the night is young and you don't want someone that's already too far into their cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. That's where I'll say you got 2 successes to find someone that is much closer to the sober.
Perfect.
But eventually, you get a text that says, "I'm here." Outside, you notice an Aston Martin Vanquish in Andromeda Red. An iridescently chameleon paint scheme. Depending on the exact lighting and angles, one would catch shades of deep purples, dark blues, warm pinks, blazing oranges and reds, like a vehicular homage to the setting sun itself. He will get out to greet you. And you see that he's wearing a nice dress shirt and a gabardine jacket that is, with weathered but otherwise well-kept hiking boots.
Evening.
Fulton, how are we?
All right. Curious.
Well, it's up to you. Do you want to be surprised? Or do you want to know exactly where you're going?
I so frequently am surprised in my line of work. Be surprised.
Please. He opens the door for you.
She'll slide in.
He gets behind the wheel, and he makes a point of taking that sort of long flop of hair to put it over on the opposite side so that he can hear you unobstructed. I see you, Martel. Okay. Let me just get back to this. Is there anything you wish to bring up with him as you get underway before I get into the rest of the cutscene stuff?
No, you can go to the cutscene.
Okay. Despite the obvious power of the engine under that glittering hood, Keller drives at a relatively sedate pace along Route 80. The limited signage along the way showing that they are on the way to Tybee Island. However, he brings the car to a stop at a T-section with a small brick plinth holding aloft a sign that's hard to read initially. But as the headlights scan by, you catch Fort Pulaski National Monument. A short flagpole bears both the American and state flag of Georgia. 20 feet beyond that is a small brown information booth. A guard in a National Park Service uniform steps out just as Keller rolls down his window in exchange of a money clip, and the man waves the car through. Before was subdued, but now Keller puts his foot down and the car rockets over the bridge going north. A smooth glide around a subtle bend, and then a sharper one, and he eases down to a rolling trot to precisely claim a space in an otherwise empty parking lot. The engine is killed. He gives you a little smirk.
So is
And
that
he
you
climbs
showing off?
Oh, I haven't started yet. Shall we?
I'll exit the car.
He climbs out. Before you is, well, it's in the name, massive fort. A sort of almost directional cursor shape in lined with thick reddish brick. There is a moat that surrounds the entire structure. Not unlike the fairy tale castle motif that many of us are so very used to. You can see from here that you are at the mouth of the Savannah River as it feeds and is fed from the Atlantic Ocean. But he doesn't say anything immediately. He just begins to lead you in a meandering pace, letting you take in the sight, absorb, and process any questions you might have before you ask them.
Do I see any signs with a year on it?
Would you like to look for some?
I would.
Not hard to find. You can see one that discusses Casimir Pulaski, a Polish soldier in the Revolutionary War under the command of George Washington, who took part in sieges at both Charleston and Savannah. He is the namesake of the fort itself. In the generations that followed immediately after the Revolutionary War, several forts were built along the East Coast to stand guard. You see some that discuss its place in the Civil War.
Kate's gonna chuckle for a second
Mm-hmm.
if he asks why.
Well, question is she sort of musing to herself, or is she looking at him with this little laugh?
I think she'll laugh and then turn to him.
And what amuses you so?
I know him from a song.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
do share.
Have you ever heard of a singer called Sufjan Stevens? These are my
Unfortunately,
people in the audience.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does escape me.
Yeah, I'm sure music really shows our kind's age. Kind of dates us pretty squarely at some point.
Does it now?
So if I were to ask your favorite composer, band, singer,
Composer, how old do you think I am?
I'm not one to judge.
Mm-hmm.
See, my post
A
embrace, it was
blue blood
only
that doesn't judge. Wow, I have seen everything.
my post embrace. I only got to listen to Italian opera, and that was new age for him.
Ah, yes, I have heard that Vesper is quite. It looks like you're trying to look for the polite word of storied.
I know my Verdi now.
I've let myself enjoy a great many variety of genres over the decades.
Decades.
Term that stays true whether neonate or elder.
True.
But which do you think applies?
See, now you've caught me in a trap. Because I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to offend you either way. Either I will have called you considerably older and you'll take offense, or I'll think you too young and how could I miss your gravitas?
Uh, you spent too much time around your own kind.
Well, I learned from the best.
In most circles, that would be referred to as an ancilla.
Ah. out of character? What's the kind of range?
This is where it gets a little nebulous.
Mm-hmm.
Ancilla typically begins around 100 to 150. Elder, depending where you are in the world, and there's a bit of a sliding scale, can
Imagine old
sometimes
world is much
begin.
older.
Yes, in the new world, typically Elder will begin around 300. So it's somewhere between Neonate and Elder, and it's very difficult to tell without him just saying an exact year.
And I feel like that's just impolite in vampiric society.
You'd probably have to know them a lot better.
Yeah. So, do you have any personal connection to this place?
In a sense. I often enjoy bringing fledglings here, especially from the Chantry, in order to give them a bit of an understanding both of the city and of themselves. The question is, what do you think that lesson is?
Well, we've only just arrived. Do a little more exploring to figure it out.
He will walk you along the outside of the moat to show you some of the preserved damage. There is the wall that faces out southeast that is peppered with gouges ripped out of the wall. But it's too uniform, which might give you the impression that this is a restoration. That all that damage is real, but in order to have a wall at all, they had to do some sort of restoration project. What do you think that tells you?
Well, it's a restoration, so you can look at it from a lot of different angles. There's the preservation of history, the learning from the past, which is unfortunately a nebulous statement at this point in history.
Right.
Which lessons are being taught and learned? Because I imagine the original bit of this was part of Sherman, was it? His famous march?
His forces did in fact do this, but it wasn't him himself. One of his commanders. The Confederates had holed up here. They were under the expectation that brick would be enough to stop any ballistic barrage. Because the technology of the time was smooth bore cannons, which on a good day might get half a mile in range. When the Union showed up on Tybee Island, they issued a chance to surrender. The Confederates laughed. They were under the impression that with the moat, the brick, the cannons, the elevation, that it was an impenetrable fortress. The Union tried to give them the out, as you might say. They didn't heed it. And that is when the Union unveiled a test fire of the rifled cannon, where they could hit them from the eastern side of Tybee Island with impunity. The walls were shattered like cheap candy glass. Their forces were no longer at that point. And as a added statement of intent, any slaves under the Confederacy on the island, forced to work for the Confederates, were freed as part of General Order 7. It then became a refuge as the war was still in its throes, that anyone brought here was immediately freed as an end stop for the Underground Railroad. Hard to make more of a statement than that. I like to bring fledglings here to teach them one lesson. Don't sit on your laurels. Don't assume anything. Continue to question, to challenge, to understand. Their assumption that they were invincible was hubris. They couldn't conceive that anyone was smarter than they were. Better. Look where that got them.
There's some who say that's our real clan curse.
In truth, that's every clan's curse. Some just wear it a bit more proudly. But you wanted to see a bit of the city through my eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a place I like to start.
I appreciate the lesson.
As you've been talking, he has, of course, been leading you along the grounds. He has led you through a small drawbridge that leads into the interior courtyard of the fort itself. Left a lot more gleaming in its rebuilt nature. Still brick. Still wind running through it. It's hard to believe that a cannonball from over 2 miles away could do any damage to this, and yet it did. And changed the course of history for a nation. It's hard to say that they are old, but old is relative. But you see a few elm trees dotting the courtyard that are quite prodigious. But they can only be maybe 160 years old at best. Is there anything you wish to ask him or remark on?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to look at it specifically with his lesson in mind. Think about... Kate is not a military strategist. She's a political strategist. But trying to think about strategy and certainty, and how quickly certainty is not certain anymore. And how this beacon to hubris became a symbol of everything they stood against. Because I couldn't see how they could go wrong.
And this is something that she's really thinking on or saying out loud?
Mostly thinking. I'll probably make a comment here and there.
He points out a few additional signs and the like, and even a preserved set of smoothbore cannons and the preserved rifled cannons to show the technological folly in play. But even as he's showing that, just this was once considered a futuristic marvel. Now we look at this as entirely antiquated. If the kind have issues trying to keep pace with changing technology, so many of us are far, far worse off.
I can only imagine how rapidly things have changed the past 100 years.
For most people, even 150 years ago, didn't have access to trains. The fastest way to get around was a horse. Now, on any given night, if you look up and wait, you might see a plane overhead. Dozens, even.
Any tips on keeping up with the times?
Only one. Only one that matters, anyways. Don't be afraid. It serves no purpose. Fear of social change, fear of a new piece of technology. If that's the sort of thing that so easily curtails you, might as well go be a Luddite in a cave.
Newness of me wants to say how boring that must be. But then thinking about decades and decades and decades, I'm assuming that even we are not immune to the comfortability of the familiarity.
If anything, for many, the older we get, the more desperately we hold on to what used to be. For example, what was morality 100 years ago, 200, 1,000, so on and so forth?
And yet it continues to be cyclical as well.
The great unnecessary pendulum. Anything you wish to ask him about further? Or just musing on the space?
Just musing on the space, thinking about how that morality pendulum swing was an oft-studied topic for Kate in voter data.
Funny that.
Mm-hmm. And I think just like little remarks like that, just kind of back and forth musing, him pointing something out and her commenting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even getting to link it to things she's studied before.
I'd say that's pretty much how the rest of it proceeds, is a little meandering pace, little idle chit-chat, maybe a few more in-depth comments, but overall, proceeding apace as how it's already been so far.
I will, after it's been a while,
Mhm.
ask how long he's been in Savannah, specifically.
Roughly about 10 years. Maybe a bit less.
Is it all right to ask where you came before?
I was in Vienna.
Ah. And I'm assuming I know that enough to be like, I know enough to know that that is like the chantry.
Yeah.
Home or home for a bit?
That is one of those hard to answer questions. When one can live a very long time, home can be many places. I do have one question for you, though.
Hmm.
So I understand that you were here for seasoning. Was that the correct phrasing?
Mm-hmm.
But why here? Why not New York? Somewhere in California? Why not abroad? Why this tiny little seaport town?
You know, I spent a lot of time thinking about that.
Hmm.
I think one, the prince, the ability to hold on to power for so long. It's a rare gift. Learning the importance of a town that appears small and insignificant, how valuable such a location really is. And I think a small part is a personal nightmare of being trapped back in the South after I had escaped. That irony was not lost on me.
Well, I hope you're able to make the best of it.
Been enjoying it so far.
Well, I shall endeavor to become a highlight.
I look forward to it. If this night is any indication, I'm doing a good job so far.
Now I have to. You are starting to walk back towards the parking lot at this point. Now I have to assume I'm not your only appointment this evening.
No, I'm on standby to meet with Rook.
And how is the dear deputy?
Funnier than I imagined.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling I'm not supposed to know that.
I don't think you are either. Forget I said that.
Well,
It's definitely a nasty rumor you picked up from somewhere.
yes, I can't imagine where. I'd say there's a little bit of banter as you're heading back towards the city and eventually back towards your part of town.
Mm.
Is there any final comments you want to leave him with?
Me as a player wants to know where the chantry is, but I know he won't share, and I'm not going to ask.
Do you ask him?
I was trying to think of a clever way to get around it, but I can't, so I don't think I'm gonna. This won't be our only meeting.
Okay. As he's dropping you off, is there any final goodbyes you want to give?
I'll just say thank you for a lovely evening. I'll be sure to carry that lesson with me.
Oh, I hope for another.
I look forward to it.
Is it okay to fade out from there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Ellie. You've returned from your alleyway skulking. Freshly fed. You had a few tasks you wanted to attempt tonight. Where are we looking?
First attempt is looking for various possible like veterinary offices or animal hospitals where they would do microchipping for pets. And it is one of those things where I'm kind of, because of Poppy's comments the night before, we'll probably like once I gather a few options, probably text Poppy for like a meetup somewhere to actually like walk through some of the options that are available.
Okay. I'll give Poppy a chance to respond to a message in a moment. Is there anything else you want to do in the Warrens while you're there before you head out? Any conversations or things you want to set up before you leave?
There was I'm realizing of all the people whom I know, I know that Petra allegedly resides in the Warrens, but I don't necessarily know anything about where she is. But I do have her number, so I could just text her.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to text her or do you want to start looking around?
Feel like she's I will.
I love how such a simple question makes Sam just a little nervous.
I will. Why? Why do you think any RPG that gives me two options, I will spend 20 minutes just staring at the option screen.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the IGN walkthrough, got it.
Yeah, exactly. I will look around and see if I can find her somewhere.
Okay. It's hard to know exactly where to look, other than the fact that you know, or at least highly suspect, she's not in your particular neighborhood in the Warrens. It's almost laid out, not like a neat grid per se. It is a fairly clean establishment, despite the fact that it is built underground, hewn from both the stone and taken stones and bricks from above to make this pantomime of civilization below. The Warrens that you were from was more leftover dugouts in the limestone, where this is architecture. Your area is quite nice for what you're used to, anyways. This is still not the nicest part of the Warrens. As you mill around, trying to find one thing or another, there's still just enough dark corners, nooks and crannies that you hear the occasional voice from. Indistinct chatter and chitter. But as you don't know exactly which door to start knocking on, are you doing sort of the John Travolta broad gesture trying to see where to go, or
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately, everyone's really good about it. It's not one of those things where everyone just has their door open with the designed in the exact style that you can tell.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a college dorm where it's just open and people decorate. And I'm gonna have you roll something.
Okay.
Perception alertness at this is 7 for funs and shits and grins.
One success.
1 success. If I was smart, I already would have had my dice out. But come on, you.
No.
It's fine. Don't overprocess it. But before, so while you're looking around, pacing the space, trying to figure out where to even begin, you abruptly stop in your step as something physically stops you, and a little voice from down below. What are you doing?
Oh, hey, Alice. Do you know where Petra is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind pointing me to where she is, or if it's not in this area?
She just
I-
holds up a hand for you to take.
Yeah, I figured that's how this was gonna go. All right, lead the way, and Ellie offers their hand.
She will march you barely 2 doors down.
Thank you, Alice.
And it's not unlike your door, but just a more elegant, as if someone spent a lot of time welding it together to look a certain way, which is the same with all the doors in this particular area. And she knocks on the door hard and fast and then runs away. And that sort of indistinct, disembodied chittering turns to laughter and giggles, as if she's joining some Greek chorus in the background. And you hear a voice, finally, from the other side of the door. Oh, do I have a gentleman caller I haven't put on my face?
It's Ellie, Miss Petra. I was.
Oh, then get your ass in here. You hear the locks delatch.
opens the door and quickly moves in because it seems like very hurried.
Mm-hmm. Inside, you find softness is the only way I can put it. It looks like a Vanity Fair walk-in closet, dimly lit, mirrors and little marquee lights over a vanity mirror, plush carpets, little bits of art, some paintings, some framed poster from a much bygone age. And she is resplendent in a silk dressing gown. It's the first time you've seen her without a wig. Her makeup set is expertly arranged on the vanity table. And to what do I owe the pleasure?
It is good to see you once again, Miss Petra. I had the pleasure of encountering someone named Yvette. And
You notice the eyes narrow.
And she was talking about meeting up at some point, and I was wondering if she might be someone you were aware of, and if you were, I was
Cut the
not
bitch.
used to not. I'm sorry.
Did I fucking stutter? Cut the bitch.
So I take it that there hasn't been friendly atmosphere between you two.
My dear, whatever was the first clue?
The word cut was kind of the first one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific reason that I should either avoid or cut her?
I'll let you divine your own.
Okay. Great.
But I have had these wonderful little fantasies of leading her to a deep, dark mind that hasn't been used in 50 years and just push and listen to the Doppler effect cacophony of her end.
How long have you two known each other?
Oh, maybe 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I know. The first impressions can be really bad sometimes.
Hmm.
Well, I appreciate the warning. I will take that into consideration if she reaches out.
Oh, by all means, indulge her. Lure her in.
Sure. And when things go inevitably wrong, I'll be sure to update you on all the great details. Unless you do not want the details, in which case I will not give you any of them.
It depends how much you get away with.
Right. Plausible deniability. Got it.
And if a car happens to explode one night, oh well.
Okay.
Just don't be in it.
I'll try not to be. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Petra. I hope we our paths cross again very soon.
Where else are you going?
I was going on a job pretty pretty soon. I was working with someone on a job soon.
You do know how to not get caught.
That's generally been a good talent of mine, yes.
There are other ways that might mitigate other mistakes that maybe you're not considering.
And those ways would be
Your phone can still capture an image of one of us, yes? No matter if you are hiding from the mind or making yourself look like someone else. Yes?
right. Yes.
So security cameras and the like will see the truth. Not when they're looking at it live, but when they go to look at the tapes, they'll see the truth.
Right.
You can always give them a different truth to look at.
Do you mean like looping the cameras? I've done that type of thing before.
Oh, all you tech people just think in such a small, simple circle. She gets up and she walks to one of her beautifully appointed cabinets. opens it, and on the, sort of like, how do you put it, like mannequin head that you might hold a wig on, there is a latex face cowl pulled over it. And she takes it out. And with no wig in place, she takes like a wig cap, despite the fact she has no hair, in order to hide her ears, to tuck them behind her head properly. And she pulls on this mask that, as she pulls and prods and rearranges and shifts, it's a bit like a reverse Mission Impossible reveal scene, where gradually it begins to meld to the correct desired shape. And she beckons you forward with her unnervingly, comparatively discolored fingers. And she points you towards the mirror. See how easy that is. And she picks up the makeup kit and she begins to apply to it, gluing little pieces into place, blending it in. And she points you in direction. Fetch the blonde bouffant wig over there, would you?
Are there multiple blonde wigs?
Many.
Great. Ellie goes to. You know what? Ellie's not gonna hide it. Which one's the bouffant?
Fourth from the left.
Ellie grabs the one that's the fourth from the left.
That's when you find out there's only 3 wigs. No, and as you bring it towards her, do you try to place it on her head or do you let her take it from you?
I let her take it from me.
And like with the latex overlay, she begins to carefully affix it and begin to sort of lift it up, glue little pieces, blend it in, until, well, up close, the illusion might fail. Walking along the street, on camera, who would ever know?
So, you don't use the warrens a lot to have to get around, do you?
When I want.
Huh. That is quite impressive. Is that something you've made yourself, or?
I'm not going to teach you all of my secrets right away.
Guess I'll have to come back for another lesson then.
Ah, there you are. And the otherwise perfect image of the mundane is ruined by the display of teeth. I have to continue getting ready.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Miss Petra.
Miss Petra. Oh, it's so nice when the young ones have manners. Get out.
Getting out. And Ellie quickly gets out.
Mhm. Just scuttles. It's okay if I fade out from there?
Yep.
Poppy.
Yes.
You will, of course, have some back and forth with Ellie in your text about meeting up at some point, and we can get to the specifics of that in a moment. But you wake up at home.
Yes. I wake up, I think, after the night before, and kind of I think Poppy went a little doom scrolly when she got back, thinking about the excitement of the heist, and had probably, probably still has like 10 tabs open of different like galas and museum events and jewelry auctions and things just like up on her phone. And it's probably somewhere in the bed with her. So she'll close out of that, take her daily moment to play lump and chess, a couple moves, try to like gather herself after the kind of end of night frenzy that she felt. Play manager for a moment and do a follow-up email to the Better Than Sex dessert shop, just to be like, hey, it was really great to meet you. The artist that I brought with you is thrilled to, work together in the future. Here's my information. We can't wait to hear back from you, kind of thing. And then she'll tell Heidi that she followed up as well as manager, and ask how her day went. And then I think still trying to kind of shake that like kind of addict shakiness from her head about thinking about all of this like acquisition she wants to make. She's gonna like do some stretches and yoga to try to like get it out of her system. So she's gonna go into like a light vinyasa, have a little moment, and I think after a while we'll probably give up a little bit, and go back to looking up the vet offices and trying to figure out which one would be best. And maybe in the world, in the movie of this world, that's when she gets the text from Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
And
So between the two of you, I will say that the vet office you find, excuse me while I find the name in my notes again, would be the Forsyth Park Animal Hospital, west of the actual Forsyth Park.
as soon as
We can get
that's
to the actual specifics when you two meet up.
great.
But
I think she'll already start just like memorizing the routes to and from the kind of the map around it. As I just picture she's like in Downward Dog, but like on her phone. Like it's not going well, this yoga practice. And at some point, I think she'll try to snap herself out of it, get dressed in something that she feels comfortable and cute in, and will look in the house for Clarice to deliver her special watercolors.
what I will say before you do that, though, is it the kind of thing that's comfortable and cute, but also can do crime in?
She would pack a separate bag for that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. What she has is like a little sundress and some sandals and like a cardigan.
Mhm.
But in her bag, she'll have a couple of options.
Okay. No, specifically, you're trying to find Clarice.
Mhm.
She's actually on the same floor as you for once. The door is open to what you expect was probably meant to be a bedroom or maybe upstairs ballroom of some sort. But it has been what looks to be converted into a very large walk-in closet of whites and pinks so light they might as well be white. Very well lit, but very plush. And all around it are hangers and mannequins standing arranged in circles and rows, each wearing a different style, material, and color of gown, while she studies them while wearing her silken robe, as though trying to decide something entirely esoteric.
We have so many walk-in closets and silk robes this evening already. I'm obsessed. Poppy will do the kind
Only
of
way to live.
like truly just a little like knock knock on the threshold. Might I bother you for a moment?
Oh, you're never a bother, dear.
Oh, and she'll shuffle in. And I think before she like takes out the watercolors, she'll look at the dresses that she seems to be pondering and go, what are you coming up with here?
I don't quite know yet. And she does have a small, maybe tired smile, but a smile nonetheless.
Well, regardless, it's exciting. So soft.
I don't know the event in question, because I haven't decided yet.
On the event, or what you're wearing to the event?
Oh, the outfit dictates the event.
I like the way you think. You just have to create an event around an outfit. I like that a lot. Well, as somebody who's lightly into event planning, if you need any sort of assistance, I would love to help.
She looks at you a bit sidelong. What's that behind your back?
Oh, this is a little gifty for you. It's these are some watercolor paints that I found. They're metallic, and I thought they would be quite interesting. Just kind of silly.
She has you bring them over to a little rolling vanity cart kind of thing. Maybe you keep pins or other little clothing accoutrements when you're making little adjustments, just so she can put it down somewhere. Oh, these are lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're designing outfits, it might be helpful to have some metallics in your arsenal.
And then she actually does start looking around as if trying to find something that would match metallic. So this is where I'll let you come up with at least part of an outfit if you'd like.
Well, I always think that a pale pink and a gold goes incredibly together. It was the colors of of the ballet school's Sugar Plum Fairy costume in the Nutcracker that I was in growing up. And I always just thought it was an underrated combination. You don't see it very often, but I don't know, like a gold braiding on top of a very like pale pink is always so gorgeous.
Yeah, gold metallic opera gloves.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. That would be so pretty.
And you do see slightly more spirited looking through the various items in that way of all this has to go. Let me find the other things. Sort of this myopic sartorialism is the only way I could really put it.
I love that.
And she does seem to get a little hyperfixated on that. But in maybe a way you haven't seen before so far.
Yeah. I think if Poppy feels that she is like on a mission now, she'll just kind of slowly start to leave the room smiling, just excited for her. So as like not to break the concentration or the focus that she suddenly found.
Do you try to find Nico, or do you want to get your thievery corporation off the ground?
That's the thing. I really do think she's a little addled and a little agitated. And like, even though the conversation with Clarice was like a nice little like, hey friend, here's a thing that I got for you, and I'm so glad it gave you an inspiration. It's like, okay, now on to the actual task of today. Like her brain has like, I don't know, she's uncovered a very deep groove in her brain, and she's like following that path now. So I think she will make moves to meet up with Ellie somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So
where,
whereabouts in town would the two of you like to meet?
Poppy will text Ellie and be like, hey, where is good for you?
Ellie will say pretty much anywhere. I can pick you up from a location and we can chat in my van.
Could do that. Yeah, Poppy will give them a nearby. I'm not sure what is exactly physically near Nico, Clarice's, and Poppy's place.
So you're in part of the historic district. You're actually quite near, relatively, to Forsyth Park.
Oh. Well, I'll have Ellie pick me up somewhere outside of Forsyth Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming Ellie acquiesces to that.
Ellie agrees.
Now, I know you've spent a bit of time working on the van. A little bit of touch-ups here and there. The question I would have is, at this point in the process, how much does it resemble rolling probable cause?
So, I would say that the safest thing to do is to get into the passenger seat and then not try to move anywhere else from there. Because I think it's one of those things that's been like laid bare a couple times. Like everything that needs to function is there, but it definitely is not. It's not the type of thing where we can do like a fun caravan situation.
There's going to be a very Princess Diaries montage later, probably, of Poppy getting into her outfit in this van. It's going to be great.
I want you to consider a bit of fun imagery. You, in your own ways, were just in some very posh closet rooms. Both from a Nosferatu and a Toreador. And the Toreador is in the Nosferatu's van trying to get ready without falling over, stumbling. It's cramped. There's construction material. There's the smell of old motor oil.
At some point, Poppy does spray like a body spray that you didn't see her take out. She just really quick, just like a spritz.
You might not have seen it, but the change in the local aromatics is very noticeable.
Ooh. I will also say Ellie's face for this evening is at that of a kind of worn out looking delivery driver who's probably in his like early 20s. This is looks like the type of student that's like juggling between their delivery job at night and classes during the day, so zero sleep whatsoever.
I knew that guy.
It's that guy. It's that
Yeah.
guy.
That guy.
You all know that guy.
We know.
So I'm assuming that you go, hey, psst, it's me, hop in kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. You look exhausted, Ellie.
Good.
Good job.
That was the point. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good one. Very nice. Your vehicle...
Work in progress. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm very glad to hear that. You deserve better. So where would you like to go to discuss, or are we just gonna be cruising?
Well, I was thinking that if we had an idea already, we could basically figure out what the Venn diagram is of spots we found that look like they can be our best option, and then we can just take the van to that area.
Okay. So Forsyth Park Animal Hospital, I already did some maps of routes, potential routes, parking spaces, areas that are shrouded hopefully in a little bit of darkness. And she'll whip out her phone and kind of like show Ellie like the couple of spots that she picked out. But of course, I don't know about surveillance and cameras and stuff in that area. I would imagine that the animal hospital does have some surveillance, but probably not as much as a human hospital. So there is that to contend with. How is your face in that kind of scenario?
I can trick the mind, I can't trick a camera.
I see.
But don't worry, I got
hat?
my ways around a camera.
Okay. So ahead of time, do you think you could hack into the cameras and just loop it in, or what do you
Ellie
do?
does like a little stretch.
Put your hands on the wheel. My God.
Sorry.
I'm precious cargo.
When we get to your surprisingly well laid out parking spot, I can grab my computer and I can, if their thing is online in some way, then I can probably find a way to either turn that off, put it on a loop, or even just I have more manual ways of throwing things off too.
Okay. So they close at 5 p.m. But there still are probably going to be people in there, do we think? Do we think it's a large enough establishment that they would still have like vet techs and stuff on staff like in the evenings?
Well, if it's a big enough, I suppose it depends on if they have any overnight stays.
Right. Which I'm sure they do. There's always overnight stays at animal hospitals.
Although if it's closed at 5, that theoretically means it's not like a shelter or other more 24-hour thing where people can expect to just bring their pet in for an emergency.
True. Okay.
So what I'll tell you to help make this decision is you have to consider the neighborhood that it's in and the style of the venue itself. Is a converted 100-year-old mansion. It's very posh looking. You're looking at a place that probably caters to well-to-do people. And there's probably more case of it has regular hours, is not an emergency clinic unless real emergency. Like
Yeah.
Miss Habersham's prize-winning poodle swallowed a penny or something.
Got it.
In absentia of that, there's probably not much going on there. Maybe there's an animal there overnight for observation, but such things don't have to be deal breakers. Even if there's someone inside playing your cards correctly, we'll make that a non-issue. The question is, do you want to try anyways? Try
The
going
attempt
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
breaking,
for sure,
yeah.
for sure.
So what Ellie's gonna do is once they get in is gonna kind of take us. Well, if we can do like a quick drive by and see like what cameras we see, and then when we're at the parking lot, if it looks like old CCT cameras that are probably connected not online, or if it's something that's like one of those online doorbell situations. That's kind of what we're looking for here.
If you would like to do a little drive-by, I would say that the way to do this is having Poppy drive, assuming you're capable and comfortable driving a van, while
Sure.
Ellie sort of does a pulse, trying to grab a network as you drive by.
Great. I will do that.
And I will drive the van.
I'm assuming you're no longer in juicy attire, but more in a
She
in
won't
crime
change
wear.
until she sees like what other people are wearing in that area. She like brought a couple of outfits to kind of see. So she'll change before she goes in, but not yet.
Okay. So I'll get to a little bit of the narration, and then we can get to the plotting. Forsyth Park Animal Hospital is located in the garden level of an otherwise glamorous mansion more than a century old. The Greek Revival residence was specifically built on a prestigious street corner with a phenomenal view of Forsyth Park and its landmark fountain. But that's the front door, not something typically used by most thieves. And I'm presuming you're not going to be using the front door in this case. There is, of course, I hesitate to say alleyway because it's a little bit more upscale than that, but that is what it amounts to, that there is a lane behind the cluster of nestled houses on that street, and then the adjoining houses on the street behind it. So, and there's not much traffic there at the moment, if any at all. You, of course, as you're driving by, get that network ping. You have to stay within a certain proximity to do anything of note with it. But the question is, Ellie, do you try to do something with it or no?
Let's hack into the mainframe.
Okay.
We're in.
Well, then this would, of course, be... intelligence or wits and computer. And we're going to put this at, to be honest, a 4, because this is not Fort Knox.
Are you having me choose if I want to use intelligence or wits, or making an argument for one or the other?
Pick whichever one. Is this something you're trying to do in a hurry or something we're doing with deliberate, methodical intent?
I mean, I don't really want to mess it up, so I'm doing it methodical.
Okay. So that would be intelligence.
Not when there's someone else in the room.
It's not an infant this time, but you still don't want to botch in front of the Toreador.
5 successes.
5 successes. Ladies,
Nice.
gentlemen, and gentledoms, Ellie is back.
Let's go.
Do you do the dance in the
They
car,
playing my
or
song.
do you do the dance in the seat, or is this just in Ellie's mind, a la Scrubs / Ally McBeal?
It is very much like Ellie's like at the computer and just like gives Poppy an indication. It's like, slow down a second. Okay, I'm in.
Okay. Good job. What do you
And
see?
in Ellie's head, they're going
like a little chibi. Chibi Ellie is needed in this situation.
If anyone in chat is able to draw that, I would
Yeah.
like all of those, please. Now, for that, you're able to find all the cameras. There's 2 ring cams for the main doors. You have a few wall-mounted cameras, external and internal, that you can do anything you like with.
Great. These things are going on a sweet little nap time, which is what Ellie refers to when they're putting cameras into a time loop.
Mhm.
Just gonna take a little nap and just keep dreaming the same 30 seconds or so over and over again. And
Mhm.
one where there's like nothing really happening. So and I'll keep that going for like, to give us some time. I'm gonna keep it going for like, I think hours should be good.
I'll give you something else on top of that. You're able to control a certain amount of the surrounding lights. Not on the street,
Yeah,
but
the
of
ones
the
that are
house.
in the
Yeah. So you can control some of the lights connected to the house, both internally and externally. It might be a little suspicious if they just all go off.
No,
Some
but
are
like,
already off, but
yeah,
strategically, you could maybe turn off a couple of extra ones.
yeah. But that means I should keep my computer with me just in
Mhm.
case. Are
You can do that here from where you are right now.
okay? No, I was thinking
Mhm.
the scenario I was thinking was, if for some reason someone did come in, can turn the lights on with the computer while inside and have them go somewhere else, being like, why is there a light on?
Mm.
That was the scenario I was thinking of. But I will check if the lights towards the back door are currently on.
They are.
Great.
But
Ellie
they don't have to be.
Yeah. Ellie turns to Poppy. It's like, you want to take the back door?
Yes, Ellie, I do. I know we've only talked a couple times, but you know, it was bound to get to this point. Yes, no, I absolutely would.
I'm
yes, you
just
can go in through the back.
I'm just so happy.
Just what a time to be alive. What a time to be undead.
Ellie's like, okay, and presses a button, and the lights to the back entrance turn off.
Excellent. As we were driving around, did we see anybody walking around, really? People heading
So
home?
Forsyth is a rather famous spot in the city, very touristy and highly photographed both by tourists and locals. So you're going to find, because of the street that you're on, a gradient of slightly more upscale, poshy people, more touristy, more middle income. And it's really up to you how you want to blend in because the options are quite wide.
Cool. At this point, then Poppy will go ahead and start undressing and put on. And Ellie, if you do notice, she's in full on like lacy lingerie under her outfit. If you do happen to see it, that's just what you see. But she puts on like a very normal looking like gray t-shirt, some kind of stretchy jegging jeans, a pair of kind of nondescript Converse. It's like all clothes that she had from before, way before, that she never got rid of. And then just a baseball cap to cover her face a little bit.
Is there any sort of like sunglasses or anything to complete the fuck you, I'm on my way to the bodega look? Or
well, since it's nighttime, she may not bother with the sunglasses. Maybe she'll, if she does have them, she'll just like clip them on her shirt, as if she's been out all day and just happens to be heading home or somewhere. Yeah.
How long does this take for Poppy to change?
Not very long, but it is funny because at this point is when she's like going between like all the things you have in your car.
Because what I imagine is Ellie is making sure all the cameras are configured the way they're supposed to be, just making sure that's all, even checking like which rooms via the cameras might be the best ones for us to go to. And he goes, all right, so how much time do you're already, and sees that you're already changed in all of that.
I think this should be good. Nondescript, kind of boring. No one's gonna care.
Ellie looks at the sweater and jeans, and looks at the sweater and jeans that Ellie is wearing. It's like, yeah, boring. Yeah, sure.
but it's okay when you wear it, dearie.
It's
when you wear it, it's like part of your whole vibe, you know, like and you pride yourself on being super sneaky, so that's fine.
Shall we?
Are you going in there with me?
I was kind of figuring we would both go in there. Sure.
Okay. I'm just checking. Do you want to go first? Second? Are you good with locks?
I'm reasonably good at locks.
Okay. Sounds good. We should probably stagger our exit from this car, though.
Now, here's a question for you, though. It's less of an issue for Ellie because your hands are off spec, shall we say. But for Poppy, you know that despite the fact that your hands no longer produce all the oils and subtle acids to leave fingerprints normally. However, moving about from day to day, your hands still accrue them from other surfaces. You would know to wear some kind of glove.
Yeah. She'll remove some gloves from her bag just to have.
Ellie's actually going to recommend that Poppy go first, and the reason for that is that way Ellie can check to make sure that the cameras are working the way that they should, because if they can see Poppy, then Ellie can like pull her back immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Poppy will get out of the car.
And I think before we get to the heist proper, now's a very good time to take a very quick break. See you soon, folks. Welcome back to the back half of Savannah by Night and our heist already in progress, where our resident Toreador and Nosferatu are going to lightly burgle an animal hospital for reasons. Let's get into that.
Okay, there are reasons.
There's very good reasons. I
I
think.
Very
said
good
reasons. I was agreeing with you ahead of time. In theory. Now,
Mm.
or as Martel so eloquently put, the back door of the session.
You're proud, aren't you, Martel?
He should be.
Yes.
Now, getting back into things. While the technical aspects of disabling security have been dealt with, but the physical side of things, well, that's a little harder. But you want to try to get to the rear of the building without being seen. So let's just start with that. You've done a bit of research about the area, Poppy specifically. These are the angles that you were considering before you even got to the area. And I'm sure the driving around has only solidified what that looks like to you. And you've re-edited the mental map. You know where to look, you know where to avoid, and lights have also been expertly removed from much of the equation. And assuming you can trust Ellie and their skill set, all the cameras are removed from that particular calculus as well.
Amazing.
So we're going to do this Metal Gear Solid sneaking mission at a tepid 4 for both of you. But you will be guiding this particular aspect of things now.
Great.
Graham,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use a blood to add a dice to my physical.
So to dexterity.
Add dexterity. Yeah.
Okay. Poppy, would you like to do the same?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. So just keep track of that.
Yep. And this is Dex Stealth.
This is Dex Stealth, and if you have any celerity, you would add it on top of that. That sounds like a lot of dice.
It's almost like she was made for this.
Hmm.
Okay. Tepid 4, right? Tepid
Mhm.
4. Oh, thank goodness for a tepid 4. Wow. Okay. Ooh.
One success for me, Graham.
3 successes for me out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice. 3 successes.
I actually didn't realize how much I rely on my obfuscate because my stealth is actually quite low comparatively.
Well, for you, actually, would you have used obfuscate? Would you have tried to go a little bit invisible, or do you even have that skill set?
I mean, I have up to being able to have the mask, so theoretically, I could probably use obfuscate.
In this instinct, because it's after the fact, I'll allow you to roll, or not allow you to roll, but bring the difficulty down to 3 to see if that changes the math for you.
It would bring it up to 2 successes.
Okay. So as you are skirting the shadows, paying attention, knowing when to cross, knowing when to stop, pay attention, count, look for who's looking, who isn't, and when. And almost like stepping into a collective blindside with the aid of Ellie disappearing from the mind almost entirely, with the aid of the, well, enhanced shadows, thanks to the lights shut off in advance. You're able to get up to the back of the building Now, Ellie, you wanted to check your view of the cameras to see if Poppy is going to, well, pop into view.
Correct.
No such thing transpires.
Right.
And as you get up to the door, Poppy, the question is, do you try to pick the lock? Or do you try to let Ellie do it?
Remind me what my skill would be for picking the lock. Would that be larceny?
It would be Dex and Larceny.
Okay. She can probably do this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now she was moving in the shadows. She put her gloves on for this reason.
Given your history, skill sets, and I'm assuming you have a few tools on hand for this exact exercise. You may not have arrived in Savannah with much, but that much you did. This will be at... I'm going to go with a 3. If it was any lower than that, I wouldn't even have you roll.
Cool. Okay, that is 5 successes.
It is barely even a glance, an ephemeral, barely there application of the tension rake and the other names of the lockpick tools that I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's almost as if you waved your hands over it like a magic trick. Before Ellie can even get into view, you already hear the lock give way and the door is open.
I love old buildings, she says as she goes in. I'll leave the door slightly open for you.
Ellie sneaks in as well. And,
most of the lights are already off, but there is some dim lights coming from down a hallway or from different rooms that are left open, but most doors are closed and presumably locked.
Okay. Ellie will take a second to pull Poppy aside and goes, okay, so we're looking for microchips, and if they use anything in particular to inject them, then we can grab some of those as well.
Hypodermic needle, according to my research.
I'll give you a little bit more to help you out here.
Yeah.
So the chips that they typically put in pets are not like GPS trackers.
Right.
It's more for identifying them if they end up at pound or a shelter.
Right.
That they kind of just wave a little, and it feedbacks on the chip there.
Yeah.
If you want to find something that does GPS, you can do that. People do pay extra for those sort of things. However, they have a charge. So you're going to have to recharge them after a certain point.
Right. And I think that's gonna probably be in project afterwards, is going to be trying to find a way to extend the charge that these things have, but that won't be helpful until I actually have some of them on hand.
So what you would see when you were doing your research is much like the microchipping apparatus that you would have for a pet is much the same. We're not going to go into too many details because some people would be understandably a little skeeved out by that discussing the process. That's fine. However, the thing that's different about it really is what you do after. And it looks a little like a Fisher-Price apparatus that you hold over it that almost remote charges it. So you'd be stealing both the needle gun and some chips and the charging apparatus.
Okay.
So that would be what you're looking out for.
Great.
When you looked at the cameras, was there a particular room that looked promising storage-wise?
Graham, did I happen to find a room that was like that?
Almost more in the absence of a camera.
Great.
It's the mapping things out in the negative space. There are no cameras in some storage areas themselves, but you would have cameras in the hallways. And
Right.
you would get a sense of, that's a patient room, that's a patient room, that is basic supplies, bathroom supplies, stationery. But it's the rooms that don't really have too much eyes on them. You're going that's probably where we should be looking.
Great. So I point that out to Poppy.
Great. I'll start heading towards one of those storage rooms.
Okay. After hours, you would expect these places to be locked. Now, I'm not going to have you roll again, because that would be a little tedious. But I would say that you have to take a second or two to unlock this to even look.
Yeah.
So the real challenge is not whether or not the door is unlocked, because I think that's a pretty foregone conclusion based on what we've seen so far out of the two of you. Now we're going to do investigation and perception, because now you're going to be rooting through the room for what you need. And we're just going to put this at a 5. Yes, Sam.
Because this is a pretty mission critical thing to find, I'm gonna use a willpower to guarantee a success.
Okay, mark that down. Helena, will you be doing the same?
I will also be doing the same.
Okay.
So you said which
perception and perception and investigation. Because it's not just that you're scanning, you are actively sort of thumbing through what's there, looking through drawers.
Out of 5, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 4 successes.
6 successes.
Ooh.
A grand total of 10 successes. And that's with the willpower?
Mm-hmm.
Is with the willpower.
Okay, well done. So we're able to find the more standard fare very, very quickly. The ones that you usually expect to just be used for identification. It takes a few moments longer to find the desired GPS enabled chips and the charging station that goes with it. Conveniently, they are located next to each other. With that many successes, though, what other goodies would you like to try and steal from a vet clinic?
Gabapentin? I'm trying to think of what's an expensive thing to get from a vet clinic.
Ivermectin. No.
Ivermectin. Gabapentin.
I would
Though
say
humans can take gabapentin.
What I'll say about this is if there are any sort of substances, you can grab a few of those. We don't have to get into the specifics of what that is. But if there's any specific items that maybe you're looking for as well.
I mean, are there cats? Does Poppy need a cat? No. I don't think
God.
Nico and Clarice would be happy about that. Be like, guys,
I feel like it's
his
not
name is Buddy.
The cat distribution system, I don't think really accounts for you breaking and entering.
Distribution
That's acquisition.
Make your own
Acquisition,
distribution
that's
system.
cat, acquisition system. Oh man.
If there is anesthetic, that might be something that Ellie would be interested in, partially in a obviously we don't know how well it would work on other creatures, but it may be good to have something that could at least slow down someone who is
Mhm.
like being a
I'd
threat to us.
say a little bit of rooting around, you're able to find both sort of a gas distribution system for that and more of an IV bag for that sort of situation.
Great. And if they're no, an animal hospital probably wouldn't have blood bags, would they? Or they would?
Maybe of animal blood,
Yeah.
and
Right,
maybe
which is
more
not
of a
necessary.
emergency vet clinic
Yeah.
where this is a little bit more hoity-toity.
And I know
Yeah.
this only because of Reddit, but they'll use donor dogs. Like big dogs will live in the clinic to donate blood.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
So I would say this is probably not the correct environment for that.
Right. That's
Thank
fine.
you for that little bit of additional information.
Yeah, Poppy will just take drugs. And like if there's a cute like
Just
dog
take-
collar, if she sees a cute dog collar, she'll be like and she'll put it on.
Ellie looks and goes, "Did you find any?"
Woof woof.
Have you met Ava Lash yet?
No.
I feel like.
Hmm.
I feel like you should.
She's an animal person, isn't she?
Sure. She certainly has pets.
Hmm.
Okay, so looks like we have everything we need. Now just a matter of strolling on out of here.
Let's stroll, Ellie. Poppy will like offer her arm to Ellie.
Ellie takes a second and goes, and takes Poppy's arm.
Great.
So before we fade out on this, I have one additional question. Do you leave that room looking like it was ransacked, or do you put it all back together?
I think Ellie put back their stuff together.
Yeah, I think Poppy would too. I think at one point she like thought about leaving, like kind of from the high of it, like finding the drugs and like, you know, putting them in her pockets and stuff, and then like went to leave and then was like and went back and just straightened everything up. But it took a second.
For just a moment, Poppy. You remember the tut-tutting of your sire, of how to get away with a basic crime. And I think that's a good moment to fade out on, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cora.
Cora, okay.
You've been waiting patiently, thank you.
I'm ready to go.
We will have a text for you to answer in a moment, but is there anything that immediately you need to sort out before you are available for anything?
No, just take a quick shower, put on my suit, have a little coffee from the coffee maker this time, not going to the diner.
Do you smell the coffee and just sort of bask in the aroma, or do you try to taste it?
I think I'll start off by smelling it and then recall the conversation when Heinrich and I were talking about how it tastes to each of us. And then I'll go ahead and take a little sip. And even if it's bad, it's still is a nice memory, so...
You taste competing flavors. One is the expected acrid bitterness of pennies in the mouth. Rather, burnt pennies.
Mm.
And then it tastes the way it smells. As if that particular sense is trying to compensate for one that has been rendered neutralized.
Am I in the office? I'm gonna look at my environment.
You're in your haven.
Okay. Then I really enjoy the sudden burst of normal old flavor.
But sadly, like all good things, it's over far too soon.
Mm.
And the compensation of your other senses leaves you before the cup is empty.
I'll empty the rest in the sink and wash it out.
In the middle of that, you do hear your phone chirp or vibrate, whoever you've set the sound.
Sure, yeah. Here, since I don't keep it near my bed, good sleep hygiene, it makes a sound.
Mhm.
And so I'll wipe my hands off quickly on a
Mhm.
cloth and go ahead and take a look.
For a moment, the sound it makes is not the usual expected chirp, but rather the flick of a lighter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that translated, but
So good, though.
mm,
Okay. Does that come before I know the recipient?
it does.
Cora's gonna like kind of shake her head and give a quick like laugh. Right, I have a date with the deputy.
Mhm. The message reads, "Meet me at the house."
Just so, I'll be right there. Oh,
Mhm.
anything to bring?
No further response.
Yeah. Then I hope this is good enough. I will go ahead and grab the pack of cigarettes that I bought at the gas station. Mostly to just give one back to Roxanne, but Nina has a lighter. Maybe she used to smoke. Maybe that's something she likes. I don't know. Or I'll bring it with.
Okay. I'm assuming you get underway.
Yes, I'll go ahead and, without messing my suit up, if I can, squeeze into my little garage, get in the Z, and and drive on out, closing
Okay.
the door as I leave, of course.
You, of course, are there in decent time, waved on through unless you are trying to cause any form of ruckus at the gate.
No ruckus here. We're going to keep it professional today.
Mhm. You get a brief peer in the window before you are unceremoniously waved through. You do not make it to the front door of the house, as you do see Nina in the parking lot, leaning back against her own car of a matte black Ford Mustang,
Okay.
as she is wearing a longer but tapered dark gray tweed coat with the sleeves pushed up and the collar popped.
All right. Um, is the Mustang a newer one, or is it like
Very late model.
okay? So, I'll.
But most importantly, not one of the electric ones.
All right. Not. Is that the Maki? So I'll go ahead and get out of the car and step forward in my cream suit with my sleeves pushed up too, with the shorts because it is summer. And Nina, it's a nice car.
And she finally takes the smoke that she was drawing on, drops it to the ground, and mashes it under her heel. We should get going.
Right, of course. I won't waste time. What's the destination?
She doesn't waste the time having the conversation out of the car. She gets in, and I'm presuming you follow in with the question as you're buckling up.
Yeah, absolutely. And close the door behind me too.
As she's already peeling out in a rapid J turn. Have you been to Bethesda yet?
Just the other night, actually, I had a delivery there, so.
Good, then you know mostly what to expect.
I do. It seems like a complicated but necessary place.
You can hear her with one hand playing with her lighter. That rhythmic but slow click-clack of the Zippo metal scraping against metal, like a metronome.
Cora always prods. Okay, so do you know the tick of yours? It's very memorable for me. It comes through really clear whenever we're going to interact. Sometimes even just in general.
In what way?
It's like a really vivid audio hallucination, you know? Say, for example, when you sent your message earlier, my phone's notification noise was your lighter. It's really interesting. I didn't know who was reaching out yet, so. But I did, right?
Does that happen often?
Your lighter has strangely often, yes. But in general, it feels like a little bit more lately, yeah.
As you are proceeding at a decent clip, she's not running. Well, there aren't really lights because you are basically taking highways. But she wouldn't be triggering any speed cameras. Barely. But as you proceed apace, is that something that presents as a problem?
So far, no. It hasn't been an issue.
Grace told me you don't know how to do what we do.
That's right. You know, these things, for me, it's sort of accidental discovery what I can do. So, I don't know ours yet.
You're going to. And you're going to do it tonight.
Okay, good. I like targets. I like agendas. This is perfect.
And if you don't, the conversation won't be with me.
Right. Okay, no pressure.
Her hand does not move. Her fingers do not move. She does not lift her hands from the steering wheel or the clutch, or rather the gear shift. And yet you hear the metallic scrape faster. Do you ask her anything else while you're on the drive to Bethesda?
You know, where'd you learn to drive one of these? It really suits you. You could take it home, maybe.
I think I just had a misfire. Can you ask that again? Sorry.
So she asked where she could drive
Mm-hmm.
and then launched into a non sequitur for where we are presently.
Mm.
Saying that maybe you want to take it home.
Mm. You ask a lot of questions.
I do. Usually it renders a lot of interesting answers.
Hmm. It can also put you on someone's radar when you don't want to be.
Sure, I guess that is a possibility. So
For
far,
instance, I know you've interacted with Costello.
is that a problem?
Depends how far it goes.
I mean, aren't you and he sort of on the same team? He's maybe like a private contractor, but
We're not personal.
right. Okay. Anything in particular I should be worried about?
As you pass through the brick arch of Bethesda, and you continue down that path slower than either of you would probably drive along the pathway of Wormslow. You should always be wary of a Giovanni.
You know, everyone tells me that, and I haven't yet got a straight answer. It's they're real wise.
I'll make you the only deal I'm going to make tonight. If you don't fuck this up, and you make it out of the room, I'll tell you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Finally, you do roll to a stop. Much like where you parked last time. And you see a familiar BMW parked nearby. Leland steps out of one of the doors, not wearing his usual jackets. The sleeves of his dress shirt are pushed up, hands in his pockets, but a more pensive expression on his face.
Dr. Aldrich, it's good to see you. Is something the matter?
I hope not. I was hoping I wouldn't see you here quite so soon, but... He looks over to Nina. We're going to need a room. What sort? You know the one. Do you want to say anything to that real quick?
I'm sorry, Nina. You asked on the way here if I was having any issues. I believe I said I wasn't.
You don't realize the issue you have, and we're going to correct that tonight.
Okay. All right.
Hand me your phone.
Cora right now has this pit in her chest, wishing that she had texted her friends where she was going. But there's no time now, so she'll hand over her phone.
She doesn't look at it. She doesn't try to see if she can get into it, if it's locked or anything like that. She just puts it in one of her coat pockets. The rustling, however, of the fabric shows the holster on her right hip.
Okay, I'll look down at the holster.
Leland. He begrudgingly turns and leads you back inside the building, the lobby of which that you are at least vaguely acquainted with at this point. That awful sort of gray gloss concrete floor.
I can imagine that sort of scrape sound of our shoes on it.
The stairs made of the same material. Heavy thuds echoing throughout that small staircase as you go down to a basement level, a rarity in a place that is so rocked with hurricanes so frequently. As you make it down to this sub-level, it is a dimly lit, dingy hallway where that gray gloss concrete seems even dingier, darker, danker. The walls seem clean, yet it feels like there should be rust and decay. You look like you want to say something, so I'm going to give you a sec here.
Yeah, Cora's going to be looking around, trying to see if there are this is totally instinctual. If there are any other ways out of here, just in case. She trusts Dr. Aldrich, but this place
should you?
looks like a horror movie. So...
As far as you can tell, the only way out is the way that you just came from. And all the doors in this hallway appear to be locked and uniform in their design of heavy slabs of metal with sliding slats for the eyes. As you, assuming you do continue to step down the hallway.
I do. And I think to myself, well, I did tell Leland, truthfully, that I had a bit of an episode before I showed up.
Mhm. Little disembodied whispers echo from impossible directions. Indistinct, yet some tones can be perceived. Some pleading, some damning, some lamenting, some screaming, yet never rising beyond a whisper to the point where you're not sure if you're really hearing it at all.
Did I hear those on my first visit?
No.
There's a little something strange about this space, Leland, I have to admit.
Leland pipes up. It would be a bit strange if you thought otherwise.
Someone literally just screamed out my window, by the way.
I paid them. They know we're there. So, as you get further down the hallway, you find one door that is not locked. Swung inward.
Okay.
Inside is the classic, yet clean aesthetic of a padded room.
Was the way I handled the flare really that unusual?
Nina doesn't respond as she's taking off her coat, putting her phone and keys in one of the pockets. She's taking the holster with the gun off her belt, putting it in the pile, and handing it to Leland. She's rolling up her sleeves. Get in. We have some work to do.
Okay. Cora straightens up and closes her eyes for a moment and steps forward.
You step inside the padded room.
Just to be sure on the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a little visit, yeah?
She's rolling the sleeves down her elbows. Depends how well you do.
Scheiße, Cora, don't fuck this up. I'll step in.
Okay. She steps in behind you. She gives a look to Leland. You know what to do. Get to it. He very thin-lipped closes the door, and you hear the scrape of metal again tonight as the door is sealed shut from the outside.
Okay.
She directs you to the other side of the surprisingly spacious room. Normally they are quite claustrophobic, but it's decently sized. You could pace in it if you wanted to. You couldn't do laps, really, but it's not quite a cramped little throwaway cell either.
No laps, well, that's not for me.
Mm.
I'll walk over to the indicated position.
Mm-hmm.
So, no straitjacket at least, that's nice.
She puts her hands in her pockets with the thumbs on the outside. She regards you for a moment. A little bit of a slow tilt to the head from side to side, almost like the metronomic quality of a more slow-moving bird. Are you going to be a problem for us?
Of course not.
Then show me what you can do and stop being a waste of skin and organs.
What do you mean, just do what?
Why are you wasting my time?
I'm just gonna need something to go on here, Nina.
She begins to ramp up the verbal vitriol. I'm not going to get into the exact specifics, but it feels like a lot of needling. Intentional little barbs to provoke a response. The question is how, in reality, in this situation, it's not an if, but a when of how easy is it for you to rile up your emotions, to get frustrated, to get angry, to get scared.
Right. It's funny, I think Cora in Frankfurt surely had could get a bit riled up
Mm-hmm.
if she was placed in a situation where she needed to be standoffish.
Mm-hmm.
I think her instinct would be to do that, but she told herself she wanted to be professional for Grace and Nina this time.
Mm-hmm.
So she's maybe working against herself, trying to keep contained.
Okay.
Trying to get answers. Like, what would you want me to do? I can't just make something happen out of nothing.
The more that you protest and in her eyes fail to deliver, the louder, angrier, almost screaming abuse at you. So we're going to shortcut this a tiny bit. Does Cora shut down, or does she rise to the growing emotion?
Oh, she gets pissed.
Does she start screaming back?
There's so what comes to mind is a whole bunch of little snipes at her work, whether the reports are perfectly in the binder the exact right way, all of these little things. Oh, the coffee you made today, by the way, was tepid. Those sorts of things.
Little micro annoyances becoming microaggressions that become bigger aggressions.
Oh, when you hear them 1,000 times, yeah.
Yeah. Till there is that volcanic, pyroclastic eruption of
So yes,
rage.
she gets in her face.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up. I'm doing the best I can.
Okay. I need to know your humanity rating.
Hmm. Any day now, character sheet. Don't keep us in suspense.
No, that's what we're here for.
I have 7 humanity.
Okay. I'm going to have her use a willpower for this as well.
Okay, we will use our willpower for this.
Unfortunately, I have to roll, not you. You existing is what sets the difficulty level for her.
Here we go.
With the willpower, that is 3 total successes. As this rage born of years of corporate micro abuses spills forth in this eruption of emotion, vitriol, screaming. You feel it all just evaporate as you sink to your knees, as if all that emotion was what was keeping you on your feet.
What just happened?
She does that sort of thing where people pull just a little bit on the knees or above the knees of their pants to hike it up a little bit as they crouch down right in front of you. And her tone is very different now. Whatever screaming rage, subdued. Maybe never there to begin with. That's what I want you to be able to do.
I feel numb.
The first step of what we can do can skyrocket or absolutely dull a given emotion. That's what you need to do. And you're going to do it right now. And she leans back and slaps you across the face hard, just as that deadened emotion finally leaves, as if that is meant to spark the return of everything you were just feeling. And it's that awful sensation of you just had a reprieve, and whatever you were feeling is now 1,000 times stronger.
Okay. I might need to get my suit cleaned again because I imagine Cora's tearing up. So to get this straight, I need to use this on myself to calm myself down. That's what's
Out of
going on
character.
here. Yeah, out of character.
She wants, you cannot use it on yourself. There's a reason why you're both in the room. The gun is no longer in the room, and the room is locked from the outside. So now we find out which one of you is Rorschach.
Okay. How does she look right now after she slapped me? Is she excited in any way?
There's a
Like,
peaked
agitated?
quality behind the eyes,
Okay.
but more, maybe not anger, but just amped.
Okay.
There's an intensity.
What, do you get a kick out of doing this to the New Bloods or something? Is that your derangement? the lighter, it's just a gimmick, huh?
That's when she takes the lighter out. That's the one thing she didn't put in the pocket. Try harder. And she flicks the lighter. And this time there's a flame.
Oh no, it's some sort of tragic backstory that you have. You burned your family alive or something. Oh boo-hoo, we're all dead.
Okay, out of character, I'm going to ask your permission for something. She's going to reach over to manhandle you. Is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's going to reach out and a clump of hair. Like she's going to pull you by the hair towards her, and she starts holding it under a wisp of hair. And almost immediately you get that sick scent of burning hair. So, Cora, I'm going to have you do something.
Okay, here we go.
Everything goes red. As it's one thing to see a light, to hold a light that you control. But when that fire is, it's not burning the skin, but a piece of you, the least alive part of you, is you can smell burning. All you can feel, taste is rage and fear. And all of it localized on the intensity of the eyes in front of you.
Mm.
I'm going to have you roll something.
Okay, here we go.
You did this to me, Chris.
I did. I get to have a taste of my own medicine.
I'm going to have you roll charisma empathy against her humanity
Ooh, okay, here we go.
of 6.
Of 6. Am I in enough control of my faculties in this moment to use
We'll see.
willpower?
Sure.
Okay, then I will.
I think it's less about faculty and more about instinct at this point.
Then I will. And you said it was charisma empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know exactly why the accent is sticking with me a little bit in the out of character this time, but here we go. Actually very charming. So, let's see. There's those, and I need, yeah, that's right. Okay. You said a difficulty of 6?
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming you've marked off 1 willpower.
Yes, I did. Okay. Those are good. That's my willpower success, and here is a reroll, because I did get 110.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. It landed on 10 again, not that that matters.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, that is going to be 5 successes.
Well done. For a moment, that rapid click-clack of scraping metal from the lighter as it opens and closes gets so fast that it overlaps with itself till it becomes almost coil line off an engine, almost as if that sound itself is screaming at you. As the intensity of her glare grows and grows incommensurate to the volume that you hear in your head. And as you defiantly find it within yourself to shout her down, she gets her own glassy-eyed look. Her hand falls limp. The lighter tumbles, closes, and skitters across the padded floor. Now the question is, right now you have the advantage. She's been needling you since you got in the room. What do you do to her now that you have her at your mercies? Still boiling with rage, fear, hurt. What do you do, Cora?
Oh, Jesus. I thought of something and I don't want to do it, but oh God. Here we go.
Do you want to tell me what it is first before you commit to it?
I'm thinking about going and stomping her lighter.
Yeah?
If I'm super pissed off
Mhm.
and that thing is the thing that I constantly associate with her, it's in my head all the damn time. Then yeah,
That's the
That's
target of
what-
all your rage.
that's what Cora would do.
Mhm.
Because like
So that's what you want to do?
she's got a couple of those combatives lessons that she's had, but what's she gonna do with that, right?
Mhm.
What, she's gonna rip her jacket? That doesn't do anything. Like, if I'm boiling over, like crying bloody tears a moment ago, then yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna break that stupid fucking thing.
I'd say the impulse to stomp on it feels good for half a second before you remember the sturdiest thing in here is your shoe and the floor is still padded.
Mm.
You might bend down, try to throw it against the wall to very little effect. Maybe it mutely bounces off her back. She's left almost cataplectic. You'd have to just basically pick it up and snap it.
Oof. Okay, well,
If that's the choice you want to make. Now the question is, do you do it in front of her? Or do you want her to live with the sound?
oh no. Oh, you're giving me the option to do audio torture? Okay.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Well, I am committing to the scene. So, yes. Cora's so sweet. It's hard to think that she would do that. But this is a situation.
It's a heightened moment.
It's a heightened moment.
Mm.
So, yes. We'll snap it where she can't see it, and then I'll put it in her hand. and say, "You dropped this."
As you put the broken pieces of her lighter in her limp hand, you see that hand clutch it loosely. The glassiness of her eyes dissipate. And you feel all that rage subside. And for anyone that's felt any kind of intense emotion for even a few moments, it's suddenly no longer being there. As we discussed earlier, it's like having your strings cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on the floor with her.
She takes a deep breath. Her hand's stronger now. She lifts up the ruined lighter. She looks at you. She smirks. There, that wasn't so hard now, was it?
That was fucking awful.
I need you to understand something before we step out of this room. The alternative was worse.
I leave you.
She looks down at the remains of her lighter. That's why I usually order those in bulk. If it's okay, it might be a good moment to fade out on that.
That's a fantastic moment to fade out on that.
We get to our final scene of tonight. Artem, you've been waiting very patiently. Thank you. Now, as always, you wake up at home. You have already done your hunt, as we've covered earlier in the evening. When you get back to the small guest house that you roost in, you find your phone, and there is a message on it from Sokolov.
What does that message say, Graham?
There's a map pin and a time, which is roughly an hour and a half from now. I have a gift for you. Slip 38. Come alone.
See you there.
Do you do anything around the house? Do you try to talk to anyone?
Yeah, I think he's a little subdued right now. But yeah, he is gonna see if Alden is around.
Okay. Where did you leave the spokes for the railing? Did you bring it inside the house? Is it in your guest
I
house, in
would
the car?
They're probably still in the car.
Okay. Do you bring those in while you're at it, or?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring him in.
Okay. I'm assuming it has to take a few trips to make that happen. And on the
most likely.
maybe third and final trip, you see Alden coming down the stairs, properly dressed.
Mhm.
And you've kind of gotten the impression that if he's sitting around the house, he doesn't put on the jacket. And
Sure.
tonight he's wearing the jacket.
So he's going out.
He's planning to go out.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's sorted. I'm assuming you're going to get to work on those.
That's the plan.
And he doesn't seem to be paying you much further mind. He is continuing down the stairs, getting maybe keys,
Mhm.
looking around the house for anything else that maybe he needs to remind himself of before he heads out.
Mhm. Before you go, I wanted to give you something. Out of his pocket, he pulls the cufflinks. I know you didn't have to take a chance on me when I showed up. I just wanted you to know I appreciate it.
Do you hold them out for him, or
Yeah.
Are they like by themselves? Or are they in like a little small jewelry box like you get earrings in, or?
I imagine they're in a box.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll give him the box. I haven't opened it yet.
Can you describe what they are as he opens the little box?
Yeah, let me go find the picture real quick. Luckily, I've been chatting with Helena tonight. Yeah, so, oh man, how do I describe this? Circular, silver jewelry. The pattern is white and black. It sort of looks like a flower. The idea is that this was a Ukrainian design specifically to invoke, the idea of protection.
Mm.
I can put this in our Discord and maybe in the other Discord as well.
Let's say campaign art.
Yeah, campaign art.
Or table banter, maybe would be the better example for that.
Sure, table banter. That's the one above. Perfect.
As he regards these little pieces, he takes off his otherwise very mundane cufflinks. Very tasteful. And he starts to adorn the cuffs of his shirt with the new ones. He looks over it. Good eye. You're welcome, Artem.
But good night.
Chris mentioned you got her tickets.
I did.
Good. He'll give you a small pat on the shoulder with that bestial hand. Gives you a nod. And he steps out to deal with the rest of his night.
Okay. With that, Artem's probably got about an hour. So he's going to see what he can do to start the installation.
Probably a lot of aligning more
Yeah.
than anything else. Maybe sort of just staggering things so that you know on which step, which one, which goes. Because there is a bit of a trick to those. But once you've kind of figured out the pattern and the sequence, it's about time to get going. While it's not a massively long drive, it's not a short one either.
Okay.
And you get on the road?
Yep.
Okay. The pin would lead you out onto Route 80. It's a quiet, contemplative drive along Route 80. The Savannah River and the dilapidated concrete remains of the old Tybee Railroad on the left, and the considerable wild marshes of the county on the right, and a nearly empty road before you, providing you an abundance to contemplate. Is there anything that crosses your mind on the drive?
Well, there is certainly an anger that is building, though somewhat tempered by the fact that he has been pretty fortunate in his own life, in that he has been able to sort of make something of himself that is not what he became as a mortal, whether that was something that was inevitable or if that was, choices he made to be a worse person than he was, matters less than the result. He's thinking very hard about where his new line is.
Well, shall I continue then?
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually, you pull over to the right into the small dirt parking lot of Tybee Island Marina. A shrimp shack, fuel depot, and a spidering walkway of over 2,000 feet of dock space. What do you do?
Suppose he will find a place to park,
Mhm.
get out. Think to himself, this is something we need to be very careful with. And then start looking for the door, I guess.
You wander down the length of the docks, first one direction and then the other, as the numbering system is at first counterintuitive. When you arrive at slip 38, you find a familiar, brutishly Herculean figure as Bruce is sitting at the helm of a small speedboat.
What's up, big guy?
You want a mooring?
Sure. You'll help him out with that.
I'm assuming you throw the line back into the boat.
Yeah.
Do you hop in?
Yeah.
With you on board, he starts it up. Do you try to start a conversation with him, or do you just let him take you where he's going to take you?
Just let him take me where he's going to take me.
Okay. After unmooring the boat, the two of you pull away from the docks at a decent clip, first heading north to join the Savannah River, and going with the flow as you pass other boats, some big, some small, some other gargantuan cargo ships that one can only assume are responsible for bringing you to this country in the first place. You speed right by the northern tip of Tybee Island and out into the open ocean, a lightless expanse except for the disorienting glitter of murky moonlight along its uneasy surface. for what feels like an uncomfortable amount of time where Bruce is clearly concentrating on steering the boat. You pass through misty darkness until you begin to see a dim, indistinct silhouette. Before I continue, do you react to that in any way? Okay.
Particular.
As you get closer, the mist-obfuscated shape yields a gently bobbing tugboat, the only source of light and sound for miles. Pulling around to the aft of the small vessel, Sokolov is in a weathered yet dignified peacoat and throws out a rope to the three of you to work on mooring the ships together. As you are brought on board, do you say anything?
Nope.
There was a gift that you meant to bring to him at Elysium the night prior. Did you bring that with you?
I did. I think I'm going to take care of that as I'm leaving.
Okay. The boat that you arrived on is shot down. And Bruce climbs on board with you, not needing the help. Sokolov, speaking in English. I assume you know why we're here.
I think so.
Are you prepared?
We'll find out.
Follow me. He leads you to a hatchway. Discolored, rusty, but short steps lead you down into the depths of the cramped engine room. I have to go back to my narration. Metal thuds underfoot as you are led across the deck and then through a hatchway, leading to a short number of steps down to the grunge-coated engine room. Before you, on the floor, and slumped up against the wall, is a bloodied and bruised shape, staked and bound in chains. What would you like to do here?
Artem is gonna, I guess, take a lap, see kind of what's been done, inspecting the chains, trying to see if there's anything specific that he should be worried about aside from this man's physical presence based on how he's bound.
You would gauge that even if he were standing, he wouldn't be a tall or imposing figure. Not wayfish by any stretch of the imagination. But you also know that based on your own sire, that's all irrelevant.
Yeah.
He is bound in heavy chains. But the thing that's keeping him most immobile is the stake, clearly jutting out of his chest. Now, perhaps on first glance it wouldn't register. The blood, the bruises, the terrible lighting. But you know his face, once sneering and smug. This is the face that separated you from Natalia.
Artem definitely feels that anger. Particularly because of just how easy it could have been. Seeing how everyone here has been at least professional.
Bruce closes the hatch, and he makes sure that it is locked tight. Sokolov crosses his arms and leans against a nearby support girder, waiting for you to do whatever you're going to do.
Before he pulls out the stake, Artem will look at Sokolov and say, what can he do?
Do you ask in English or Ukrainian?
We'll say Ukrainian.
He'll respond in kind. He is of my clan. To be safe, do not meet his eyes. We could always just pluck them out. But do as you see fit.
Artem will nod. He will stand to the man's side, grab the piece of wood, wrench it out.
I'm assuming with no kindness.
No.
There is this intake gasp of air that one would be expected to have when cresting the surface after expecting they were about to drown.
Graham, do you remember what the last thing he said to me was?
Not especially, but do
No.
you?
I don't. I'm trying to.
I'm assuming it was some perfunctory throwaway non-statement.
Yeah, we'll say it was something along the lines of "Have a nice trip." So Artem will kind of grab him by the scruff of his neck as he's. He'll get real close. Did you have a nice trip?
There is this guttural snarl as he is in vainly fighting against the heavy chains. Who the fuck are you?
Don't remember? You were my travel agent. You sent me to Georgia.
He looks over at Sokolov. No. Not me. See, the problem is only pertinent professional questions I already have answers to. You have besmirched our vocation with your selfish endeavor. What happens now is simply rebalancing the scales of the universe. Mr. Jovic, however, has slightly more existential questions he wishes to shout at you at maximum volume. We take customer service quite seriously, or at least we're fucking supposed to. Artem. What do you wish to do? What do you wish to say?
Yes, building off of the idea of customer service. He'll grab very hard
Mhm.
on the arm. And he'll just say, "Walk me through it. All your stupid little decisions."
Hmm. All you get back is vitriol in a Slavic dialect you're not entirely familiar with. It's Russian, but not quite. There's loan words, words that don't make sense. But you hear a lot of swearing. Could I check? Answer his question. He spits a glob of almost dried blood in your face. Fuck off, Gangrel.
Ooh, he knew. Artem is going to take his hand right here. And that hand is going to start to change. So I'm going to spend 2 points of blood.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to dig yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the ends of the blades are going to dig into, like, basically, and I guess they're probably longer, so they're probably up here, but like digging just very, very softly into the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say, "One more chance."
Or what? Little fledgling. What are you going to do? You cannot breach the tradition. Not have every sheriff, hound, archon hounding
Pause.
for your blood.
We're just going to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Going to try and touch tips inside of his mouth.
You ever wonder how I got these scars?
We're just having a conversation.
And
You were about to tell me.
the rack focus brings Sokolov back into focus in the background as he says, "You're forgetting the 7th tradition. You foolish, foolish man. Don't get caught. We are in international waters. I defy you to tell me which prince exactly claims domain over the Atlantic Ocean." And from there, he simply goes back to gloriously looming over this scene. And the look changes on the man's face. The pain, the harm didn't do anything. It hurt, sure. Screaming rage, sure. But it was the reminder that no one here is bound under any consequence. Except those which you dole out here and now, if any. He just starts sputtering rage and curses at you specifically. But if you have anything you want to ask him specifically.
Why the fuck did you do it, you idiot?
Because what the fuck do I care happens to a paragangrel? If you had your shit together, you wouldn't have come to me in the first place.
Look
But
where
no.
you're sitting and look where I'm sitting.
Who do you think you're going to make an enemy of when I die?
Right now, who cares?
Do you do anything else to back that up? Is that your punctuation point, or do you want to try and extract something else from him?
You know, this guy really pisses him off, but he's trying to be not as much of an asshole.
Hmm.
So I think he's going to try to learn a little something from this.
Mm-hmm.
He's still got the stake in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
How's that wound look?
Ragged.
Ragged. He hasn't healed it.
He has not. He's... Vampiric bodies don't really work the same way in that sense, but you get the sense he hasn't fed in a while.
Mm-hmm.
That he has shockingly little blood to spend on the luxury of healing.
Artem is going to see if he can hit that target.
So you're trying to restake him?
Perfectly put it back in.
I'm not going to have you roll for that.
Oh, do.
Nope. It's just
Okay.
done. Is this a case of putting it back in and leaving it there, or taking it back out immediately after, like you're trying to turn him off and on again?
He's going to leave it there for right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get up and go over to Sokolov.
Mm-hmm.
Can he see us right now?
He looks over. He mostly sees the deck plating, but he could probably still hear. If you want him to not to know what is going on in the room, either we leave the room or we puncture his eardrums.
I just have one question. You can nod or shake your head. Is he going back home or no?
That is a decision for you to make.
Really?
He has absolved himself of all such responsibility back home through his actions. He has besmirched our vocation. He is persona non grata, whether he realizes that or not. What happens to him is a fate of his own making. Or rather, your making, if you wish. And this far out, even Georgia has sharks. We could chum the waters. Or you could get very, very personal. I could be involved. I could leave the room. Maybe you and Bruce could play Stretch Armstrong.
Seems like a bad idea to let a guy with a grudge like this go.
Or in his
need-
case, creating a man with a grudge.
Sorry, say it again.
Or in his case, creating a man with a grudge.
If he can still hear us, then I want him to know that I'm just going to leave him out for the sun to take him. What time is it?
He has some hours still. Long enough to contemplate the looming fate that crests over the horizon.
It seems like a fine punishment for one like that to be left with themselves.
As I recall, you were left alone in a sealed box for weeks, never knowing what was next, where you were going, if she was okay. I think this is a fitting end. However, where would you put him to achieve this? We're not taking him back to shore.
Don't suppose you have a little lifeboat you could leave out for a night?
Word of advice. Such things are easily capsized. Do you want to chance?
That would be a shame.
Do you want to chance him surviving?
No.
Well, as much as I enjoy the poetry of him going out in a blaze of lack of glory, I think you'll need to be sure. If you're going to do any of this, commit. Out of character. This entire interaction, Artem still has his claws out.
That's true.
Do you put them away or do you put them to work?
He's not putting him away. Mr. Sokolov, may I have the room?
I think, unless you really want to get into it, that might be a good place to end it. Or do you want to go
Yeah, that's
further with
fine.
this?
No, that's okay.
Okay. I think on that cliffhanger, there's a good time for us to head on out for the evening. Please tune in tomorrow for Age of Innovation and Friday for Tales of the Hidden Path. See you next week, folks.